Hey rivals, welcome to Bax Attacks. In the last event we opened up a lunar chest, and although we didn't get Lupita, we did get Yagumo. So let's take a quick look at him. He's got a very nice graphics on his spells in particular. On defense, of course, it's the Crippling Poison. The Gale Cut is interesting in that it strikes one main target and then two nearby ones, doing some nice damage to walls. The second spell is quite good for your troops. They take some damage initially, but then they get 35% increased attack speed and 20% lifesteal for a pretty good duration. The Wind Vortex is the one that looks really cool. It's got a big spinning circle that does some damage on the outside, and it allows any Gale Cuts cast inside to have multiple attacks instead of just the two. Alright, so let's use just a little bit of our Nature Primus and get a couple levels on him. And we'll just get him up to 11 for his 2 starting mana, and you can take a quick look at how the stats have changed from that. Alright, so we'll jump into player versus player and see what we get here. It's early on in the win streak, so hopefully not too hard to base. And we hit a Stronghold 12, so it shouldn't be too bad. It's a bow tie design. Just take a quick peek again at the spells, and then we'll dive in. One of the challenges with ancients like Yagumo is that it's difficult to control the spell towers, and there's not any reduction in damage. So he's a offensive character, and if you have strong troops compared to your level or compared to the defenses you're facing, you're probably going to be in good shape, and he'll be able to wipe out a base quickly. However, if the spell towers are particularly tough or well designed, or if your troops are underleveled, it's kind of difficult with him. So we're using that second spell to get the boost on the troops, and when we get up to 15 mana, we'll let that Vortex go. Looks awesome. But with the troops locked down, we don't generate new mana in order to cast a lot of the Gale Cuts. And the troops are just about dead. So fortunately, the dragon has a little bit of life left to take out the Stronghold. But that's about all we got. And the Vortex itself doesn't do a whole lot of damage, and it doesn't do any damage on the inside of the circle, it's just the ones on the outside. And you can see with the Gale Cut as well, the damage on it was really kind of low. So we got a win on that, but not a very convincing one. Let's try another attack. I didn't see anything suitable in the arena, so we'll hit another player versus player. This is a Stronghold level 12. The Insanity Tower is being upgraded, so there's only 2 spell towers here. So that's pretty good. It's got a 4-box design. I'm going to grab some of that gold and pick up some mana on the right side here, and then I'm going to come in from the left side opposite the flame tower, and hopefully that freeze won't cause too much of a problem. Alright, we'll charge up our troops before they get too hurt, so they'll gain back the damage they take with the lifesteal. And we get to 15 pretty quickly, let the Vortex go, and let's see if we can get a number of Gale Cuts in there. Now it says up to 5, but apparently it's not 5 each time. I saw 4 on the first time, 3 on the second. Didn't watch the dragon too closely, so he's going down. Oh, this is going to be much closer than I hoped. I think that Mana Hunter is going to be the one to take it down. There's no anti-air in place, and he's got a minute and a half, so that's going to work, but wow. As a Stronghold 13 attacking at 12, this is not the type of outcome you want to see. I have another Kingdom Mate who got Yagumo up to level 35 almost immediately, and is not very impressed with the Ancient. It's the same issue. In the arena, you're just facing bases that are too tough, and without the spell tower control and without the damage control, I'm just not seeing it as that effective an ancient. If you have other experience, let me know with that, but that's my initial impression. That's why we call it first look. We may change our mind later, but right now I don't know that I'd want to put much Primus in him. But let me show you why. You can draw your own conclusion here. We're going to look at how the damage increases with the level. Like the Wind Vortex is doing about 150 at the beginning and about 80 on the Gale Cut. If you max him out, he's epic at level 50, the Wind Vortex is only doing 272 on the outside, and the Gale Cut is only doing about 120, 130. So for a maxed out level epic, that's just not high enough damage. Let's switch gears and take a look at an attack with an ancient that I wish I could show you but did not get, and that is Lupita. This is from Dirty One in Soulfire, taking on a pretty strong Stronghold 15 base. And he's using that first spell, which provides some healing every time a building goes down. And you see that kind of white pulse from the troops when that happens. He sends in the dragon into the middle to draw the fire. He's got some raiders going around, and they are going to be knocking out buildings and refiring that first spell pretty frequently. So the combination of raiders with Lupita is really quite strong. His dragon's still alive. That's quite a powerful dragon he's got. Probably a near maxed out Viscaria. And down goes the stronghold. And it's wiped up. So if you have Lupita, congrats. Hope to get it soon whenever it's available next. Alright, I want to finish up today with something I think you'll find interesting. On Facebook, lead developer Alex Taylor was on hand to answer questions that were posted by folks. So let me hit some of the highlights from that. It was asked why Malice's lifesteal ability doesn't work with herself, and the answer was they had that on originally with the breath, but it turned out to be too strong, so we took that away. Question, is there a chance to have more ancients in the game? Can't we have more than one from each element? And the answer was interesting. We definitely plan on adding more dragons in the future. However, as they're both used as a unit, as an ancient, we don't want to add too many too fast. That's pretty cool to hear. There was also a question about roles or within the kingdom, and they're going to not only keep the outcast, it was originally kind of a fun joke, but they're also going to add some more unique roles within the kingdom, so that'll be good to hear. A player asked if there's any way to obtain Malice now, and the answer was that Malice will enter the regular rotation eventually. Right now she's unavailable. They like to have a kind of a period of exclusivity for kingdoms who participated in the event, but you will get another chance. Someone asked about the upcoming Ancient Trial, which will have Mithril as one of its rewards, and it was hoped that it won't be too hard. And they said that it will be in a kind of middle difficulty between the two existing trials. The one with the dragons, they admit that's a long-term stretch goal, and they realize it'll take folks a long time to get there. They said that the one with the Mithril will probably be halfway between the two current events. So one is 3 stars, one is 5. Maybe that'll mean they need 4 stars for a couple ancients. It was asked why Emberclaw is so bad as an ancient. And the developer said, yeah, she's pretty weak right now. Emberclaw's getting some buffs with the next update. Ignite will now spread automatically once the affected building hits 50% health, rather than forcing you to recast it. And ignited buildings will provide bonus damage to elementals. We'll keep an eye on her win rate and tweak her even more if it's required. That's really good to hear. So they don't just nerf ancients, but part of watching out and monitoring the win rates is to tweak them and improve them when needed. There was a question if maxed out Stronghold 15 could donate rings or gold to other kingdom members. The answer was we are planning a new feature that will definitely let max players donate their resources to the kingdom. However, it won't be quite as directly as this. And they just started to work on it, so we couldn't give any more details. Someone who used their Ancient Dragon Heart on Viscaria asked if there will be other Dragon Hearts available. The answer was absolutely. While there are none in the current build, at some point in the future, more hearts will be available. You will also be able to increase the rarity of other dragons, making them eligible for the heart too. In other words, showing some love for Forvale. One player asked if they thought that the Mallow statues were too strong. They thought it was overpowered. And the answer was, while we don't plan on directly selling statues, it's a valid point that the Mallow statue is a bit too strong right now. We rolled out a couple of tweaks already, but we are keeping a close eye on it for sure. Someone asked if they were looking at Golgog again. Even after the recent buff, he still seems unviable at high levels. And the answer was sure. We're planning on doing a big buffing season, and we'll be looking at everyone's stats. Oh, that's really good to hear. Will they be introducing a new type of troop soon? We will be adding more troops in the future. However, our focus right now is making Mana Hunters, Primus Mages, and Raiders viable picks. Hopefully with the next updates, this will be the case, and we can move on. Someone asked, how can you be attacked so many times per hour, but you can only attack once every 20 minutes? Yeah, the arena is a bit of a bloodbath. However, your shield will protect you from being looted. And they also said they are considering ways to make joining the arena a more pleasant experience, perhaps reduced number of attacks against you for a certain time period. However, right now he says you really want to use your boosts, use your a few diamonds if you need to, but get up to at least 5,300 or so in order to reduce chances to get knocked out. And to wrap up with one last question, someone was asking if there would be any ancients that had abilities that were kind of a mix of different elements. And he said they do plan on adding a chromatic ancient that is spread across multiple element types, although it's called the Abhorrence, and it will be the conclusion to the Elder Mage's story. However, I cannot give you an ETA on it due to some external factors. All right, that sounds really cool. Hope you enjoyed that, and if you're interested in more things like that, definitely subscribe to the Rival Kingdoms page on Facebook, and I'll try to let you know when I see more interesting stuff. Thanks for watching.